For generations, the economic formula was simple. You wake up early, put on your boots, stay loyal to your employer, and eventually that effort pays off with a better life for your family. And for a long time, the math actually worked. A single factory job could support an entire household. Homes were affordable, and stability felt like a guaranteed return on hard labor. Fast forward to today. Millions of people are working multiple jobs, driving for delivery apps after their 9 to 5, and sacrificing sleep just to keep their heads above water. Despite putting in more hours than previous generations, many Americans feel completely stuck. They keep running, but the finish line keeps moving further away. When this happens to a handful of people, you can write it off as bad luck. But when millions of hardworking people struggle simultaneously, individual failure is no longer a viable explanation. The underlying math of the economy has shifted. To understand why modern effort feels so unrewarding, we have to examine an economic metric called the productivity pay gap, which measures the difference between the value workers produce and the money they take home. This graph tracks that relationship. For decades, the two lines move tightly together, but around the mid-1970s, they break apart. American workers produced far more value, while hourly wages flatlined. The extra money generated didn't vanish. It flowed upward into expanding corporate margins. The system successfully channeled the fruits of increased labor directly to investors and shareholders, bypassing the average wage earner almost entirely. The economy learned how to grow massively without needing to improve the lives of the people feeling it. With wages effectively frozen in time, consumers faced what we can call the squeeze. The cost of daily living, from groceries to healthcare, continued to climb. The most punishing blow came from the housing market. What used to be a standard milestone for the middle class became an incredibly expensive luxury, mathematically out of reach for a normal salary. To keep society functioning while basic costs outpaced incomes, the market provided a new type of fuel: credit. Borrowed money became the default way to bridge the gap between a stagnant paycheck and rising expenses. Even entering the workforce now requires a massive financial toll. Teenagers borrow tens of thousands of dollars for degrees, arising into adulthood financially trapped before they collect their first paycheck. Carrying that much debt forces a strict shift in human behavior. It dictates career choices, delays life milestones, and replaces long-term aspirations with the immediate anxiety of making next month's minimum payments. But the structural squeeze is only half the equation. The modern market heavily relies on people constantly buying things. Economic growth demands continuous, impulsive consumption. To guarantee that consumption, advertising has infiltrated almost every second of our lives. These constant digital whispers weaponize personal insecurity, convincing people they are incomplete until they buy more. This creates a cycle of lifestyle inflation. We no longer compete with our physical neighbors. We compete with curated internet feeds. People quietly finance luxury vacations and designer brands they cannot afford, creating an illusion of wealth while secretly drowning in obligations offline. This is the ultimate psychological trap. We are taught that financial success or failure is entirely personal. So when you struggle to keep up, you naturally blame yourself. You assume you just aren't working hard enough. People who are physically exhausted from overworking and psychologically drained from financial stress rarely have the energy to look up and question the rules. Survival mode leaves zero bandwidth to see the larger machine operating around them. The American dream still exists, but the environment it operates in has entirely evolved. Relying on blind loyalty to a single company and a single paycheck is an outdated strategy. Surviving today requires a completely different toolset: financial literacy, the discipline to avoid toxic debt, and the ability to think in terms of systems. This flowchart illustrates the mechanics of modern wealth generation. Real stability isn't generated simply by exchanging time for money. It is built by capturing your income and bypassing the drain of endless consumption. That means rejecting the manufactured desire for a bigger house or a newer car. It requires letting go of an illusion that was designed to keep your pockets empty, because true freedom has nothing to do with looking wealthy. It is about owning your own time, controlling your resources, and stepping out of a cycle that demands constant participation. The system was built with a specific set of mechanisms, but they rely on your compliance. Once you understand exactly how the game is played, you gain the power to stop